Hello and welcome to the Round 11 Team Sheets video. It is George from Fantasy Take TV, and we'll discuss all 9 games today. A lot of outs this week, a lot of really bad ones. Huge in, big Connor McDonald, one of my favourites. If you held him, hopefully he plays through the buys for us, but the RUCK line is, it looks like everyone, pretty much 99% of people are going to have to make trades in the RUCK this week, and Bruce and Hayes, who are both emergency, I think, could be late ins, not too sure. We'll speak about that when we get to that. So, yeah, this week is going to be a tough week heading into the buys, and a few rookies are on edge. So it's Cleary as well. We'll speak about him. So yeah, we'll get started. So first game Friday night, Sydney versus Richmond. In row bottom, Matt Roberts, a rookie, and Sam Reid out. O'Riordan, Bell. JPK's done a bad hammy, it seems. I think he's suspended anyway. And Tom Hickey, in for the Tigers. Graham and Pickett, out. Arts, Lambert, and Lynch, I think did a hamstring. I can't remember. So on Sydney side of things, so first I think Matty Roberts. So from memory, doing research in the preseason, his average in the SNFL wasn't great, but something happened to his role. But his under 18 numbers, he was able to hit 200 playing inside mid, so not sure he goes straight to the midfield. JPK is out, so they brought Rowbottom in, so I think that's probably the swap there. And maybe they have to play Matt Roberts a few midfield rotations, but they have to play him off half forward for the most part. So, given he was able to play SNFL, he might be able to, play a role for them. He's played against mature bodies before. One to look at probably in the round 14 bye would be perfect for that downgrade a week. Not one I'd go early on. We have a few others we could probably go on, so keep an eye on him. Hopefully we can bring him in a few weeks, so we'll see how he goes. So you're looking at the defense, Paddy McCartan. I'm still fielding him. He's been great. Parker named half forward. I think he was named there last week, and he's pretty much all mid. Heaney played a lot on bowl last week, and I thought he was quite good. They took him out of the middle in the second quarter, and they got hammered, so they quickly made that adjustment, and yeah, he held up pretty good. A few things to work on his midfield game. If he wants to be a better scorer, I guess. But his pressure around the ball is fantastic. When contested ball, reads the ball pretty well. So not really much else to say on Heaney. So see if the role holds. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I don't know who's sub. Dylan Stevens been emergency for ages now. On Richmond's side, Short still in the middle, so that looks like that will continue. Dusty forward. Maurice Rioli last on the interchange. I think Eno said that he's going nowhere on the pod this week, so take it from a Richmond supporter. Given his 3 out of 4 games, he's been really, really good, so you would think that he keeps playing, so see how that goes. Really need him in the second bye to score anything above 25, please. That bye is very problematic. Next game, Brisbane versus the Giants. In McStay, so they have a forward, Dev Robertson and Marcus Adams. Out, Hugh McLuggage has done a hammy. Payne out, Mitch Robert out, and Fullerton out. I think he did alright last week. The Giants, Lockie Ash is back. Okay, so do they use him to tag? Don't know, because the boy's in as well. Keith is in. Out, Kennedy, Steen, and O'Halloran. So, on Brisbane's side, Zorko named at halfback. Who knows if he actually plays there or not. I think Payne is a defender. So, I think so. So, yeah, I think he can score anywhere, though. In the midfield, very much whatever. So, Jared Lyons mid-time might pick up, taking a bit of Hugh McLuggage's inside mid-time, but you would think that reverts back when McLuggage is back. But, yeah, might score well over the next few weeks. And yeah, maybe Mitch Robert sub again. The Giants team, so Jacob Ware. So we need Jacob Ware to play in round 13 really badly, because a lot of us want to cash in a De Koning or a McCartan, or anyone else. So yeah, he would be the perfect downgrade option. I'll speak about it tomorrow when me, JD, and Eno do the team video, trades video. I'll probably bring him in. A little risky, but the ruck line is causing a bit of headaches at the moment. We need to access cash. So yeah, Lockie Ash named at halfback. Do they use him at halfback? Well, he was named there last week, and then he was a late out. So we'll see how that goes. Green and Kelly mid. That's pretty normal. Peatling scored really well last week, but he played 100% forward. So he scored very well in the VFL as in defense, but yeah, forward's not going to happen. Green for forward. He got a few CBAs, but probably not really relevant. Cogs on ball. Hopefully they indicated that will continue. They said he had more opportunity with Taranto out, so maybe the Taranto out helped him a bit last week. Because Taranto can play forward, just not sure what the coaches want to do. And now the big one. Braden Bruce named emergency. Someone in the Discord was saying that he was at training either today or yesterday. So that makes me think that they're just not playing him, which is a bit strange because, you know, it's hard to drop Flynn off the back of his form. So they're playing. Yeah, they're not playing Bruce, they're playing Flynn. So is it because he's maybe, I don't know, underdone, hasn't trained much because of the illness? I'm not sure. You would think, you know, he probably comes back in very shortly. Is he possibly a late in? I think it's something to look out for. Because if you're planning on doing no trades in the ruck, which I assume most people were, you can probably just wait until he's you know, see if there's any. They did the announcement, what, like half an hour before or whatever, no late ins. So maybe check for that. They do play the second game, so you can reverse that early. And if Jacob Ware's involved, yeah, then you can reverse that too. So, yes, I will be trading if he's not named for sure. I think, well, I don't know if he's going to play every game. His durability is horrible. You would think he plays every game. Do they play Bruce and Flynn? I'm going to get out. This is, I want out. But yeah, if you want to hold and you can, that's fine. But I think he probably has to go if Sam Hayes is out. So we'll get to that after. Geelong, Dangerfield's apparently has to do a mini preseason, so he's out. In for the Crows, Butts, Matt Crouch, O'Brien, and Miller out. Chase Jones, Rochelle, Strawn, Scholl, and Walker. So Matt Crouch is in, and no midfielder is out. So they're adding an extra midfielder, which I don't love because I like the Laird, Perry, Haitley, Keys combination at the moment. Obviously has its limitations, but you got the experience, you got the kids, you're giving the kids a lot of mid time. So Matt Crouch, I think, really upsets that balance. I hope that doesn't hurt Laird much. It probably hurts Berry and Haitley a bit more, to be honest, but we'll see how that goes. Rob's in after scoring 250 in this NFL. And Miller is in for, yeah, playing forward, so yeah, which has Dawson at half forward, so yeah, Miller isn't going to take Dawson's spot at half back when he's there. I think they'll play him forward. And yeah, we'll get to Dawson in a sec, but yeah, I'll quickly touch on the Cats. Probably no real relevance here. De Koning and Stewart, I think, pretty solid picks at the moment, so I'm probably trading De Koning, although I'd like to hold. It just kind of works for my buys, so we'll see how that goes. Cooper Stevens is named, so on field, I think he'll play until Danger's back, and it sounds like Danger could be out. You know, he'll be out this week, he'll be out next week, then he has to buy. And then after that, we probably don't need him in the last buy round, probably. So, isn't Cooper Stevens, because a lot of people should have just about a full team playing in the last buy. So, I think he's a decent option. It's just, do they play him after Dangerfield? Like, when Dangerfield comes in, who goes out here? Interestingly, he's playing over Narkle. So, do they bring in Narkle over Cooper Stevens? I mean, personally, I'm staggered they're not pumping games into Cooper Stevens. I can't make any sense of that. And I think Chris Scott was the only coach out of 18 that would not play Cooper Stevens. So, I think you could go for it. I think he's probably the best we got this week, I think, just because Danger's out. You know, you at least get that, you know, you need him for the first buy round, and that's when you get him. And he's a chance to play after the buy as well. So, or unless Narkle comes in, of course. So, honestly, I would just ask a Geelong supporter, to be honest. Cooper Stevens, but yeah, third year in the system, good contested ball winning midfielder. Probably gets you like 60s and 70s. Upside for more. I won't be going for him, but I think he's a reasonable option. But yeah, all rookies carry some risk. Evans. I can't remember if he's on second or third game. I don't know about his job security though. Not the biggest scorer either. He's a forward rookie. And yeah, we already spoke about the Crows side of things. So Dawson named half forward. Don't really want to see that, but could be like a 1 week thing, and he'll get thrown around everywhere. He played forward in the first game and then got thrown back. So just see how that goes. Now, Gold Coast versus Hawthorn. In Davies, Graham and Sharp. Out Fiorini, Farah, Thompson, Big Rip. Hopefully his knee's okay for his career's sake and my Supercoach team. But yeah, he's very important to their team. He played really well. Took a nice contested intercept mark straight away. But yeah, I think out. They haven't given him a timeline yet, so he's out. Lemons is out, and in the best rookie we have, Connor McDonald. Last buy round, so really need him. And Scrimshaw's in. Out O'Meara has a minor hamstring issue. Hardigan is out, and Max Lynch is out in concussion protocols. So looking at Gold Coast, very much whatever. Tuga's poor. Hopefully he bounces back. You would think he does. Jeffrey's a rookie, so he scored, I think 90 something. Scored 5 goals last week. Not a rookie I'm looking at. Has the middle buy, which a lot of the rookies have. You would think he keeps playing. I think he's been doing well in the VFL, so not one I'm looking at. And yeah, just too many forward rookies just completely crap the bed and score 20 this year. So not one I'm looking at. Has the potential to score really, really poorly. Should play through the buys. If it kind of fits your structure, I think he should hold his spot. If you're kicking 5 goals, you're probably going to keep playing, at least in the short term. Not one I'm looking at. Jared Witts, so I'll be bringing him in this week, provided Bruce isn't a late in. Has what is this? Kaczynski in the ruck. The amount of hit advantage he gets, it's just, I think he's 40 clear of second at the moment, and he's going to extend that lead because, he's not a ruckman. Roses is playing, so you can hold him. I've traded him, but he should make a little bit more money. Holland's finally on the emergencies. Hopefully he's not sub. But yeah, I think he'll get a game soon. And yeah, on Hawthorn's side, so CJ and Scrimshaw, maybe do they take points off Sicily? Potentially. CJ, Scrimshaw, Hardwick, Impey and Bramble. I don't think Hardwick scored very well this year, but these guys can all score quite well. But Sicily's the top dog. These guys probably take away from each other rather than Sicily. So maybe CJ takes a little bit away from Sicily, but I'm not too sure. Still, I think he's top 3 defender. More on the wing, so maybe they play more up the ground still. Tom Mitchell named at 10.5 forward. Well, I think they're going to play him mid in the short term. He's not one I jump on this week, but one you can look at in future weeks. Just because he's, sub 500, 120 break even, I want to say. But yeah, last week they did indicate that they want to play him in the midfield, and no Amira this week either. But yeah, one to keep an eye on if you're looking for a budget option. But if you're not after a budget option, because the CBAs were still quite low, then you probably want to look elsewhere. And he's also had a few durability concerns this year. McDonald named forward pocket, whatever. Just need him to play in the buys. And yeah, what is this ruck setup? Who rucks? Nash and Cozzy? They're not ruckmen. So yeah, I'm more than happy to jump on the Wits train this week. And I think Callow could possibly compete in the ruck, but he's not really a ruckman, so yeah, so when O'Meara comes in, does he take Shields' spot? Does he take Butler? Does he take McDonald? I think Shields, I guess. I don't know. Not sure. Just because, why wouldn't you want to pump games into kids? And these guys are playing half forward anyway. Whereas Shields is a midfielder. More like for like. So Melbourne versus the Dockers. So Viney is in. Out is Langdon and Dunstan. In for Freo is Walker. Is he a rookie? I don't think I'll worry about it though. I can't remember. Last interchange. So one we can look at potentially. In Tucker. Out Banfield. So he's been, he should have been omitted a while ago probably. Erasmus and Swikowski is out. So looking at Melbourne, again, Melbourne, who cares? It's Petrarca gone. Oliver, and then that's it. There's nothing to look at there. Nothing to look at there. Frio's side, Brayshaw was good. Brody on ball, I guess expected, of course. Sarong. So yeah, no Fife just yet. Probably, maybe after the bye, who knows. I think it sounds like he's getting close. And then Darcy's the other option if you don't want Wits. So look, I think the best setup in the rucks is probably Darcy and Wits. I think they seem to have the highest ceiling. They don't have to deal with a second ruckman. That's probably the main thing. If Gawn didn't have Jackson, it'd probably be a different story. I can't afford to take a durability risk in Darcy. Like, I know as good as his scoring is, I think, you know, how many injury issues has he had this year? You know, he's had a decent run, building match fitness. He looks great. And if you're holding Sam Hayes for the year, which I think I am, but not everyone might be able to do that, then it's something you could look at, or, you know, maybe you're planning for English as well. So, look, if you want to go Darcy over Wits, I'm all for that. I think Wits has a better buy structure because if you have Gawn, they all have you have two playing in each round. If you have the Gawn, Hayes, and Wits set up, and you know Wits also has a donkey matchup this week, so I'll be going for Jared Wits. Darcy is still a fine option, and I kind of wish I had him over Gawn, but you got to remember durability. So, yeah, see how that goes. West Coast versus the Dogs. So in Kennedy, SPS out, Dixon's out. So if you have Bruce Dixon Hayes, you're kind of screwed. I think you might have to cop a donut if you don't have a boost. And then Naisha's out and Rotham. In Waitman, Dre, no speaker English. Baz is out with illness. Cleary's out. That is surprising. Rocksmith and St. Cordy. So we get to West Coast. I mean, who cares? It's Jamison's like a cheap ruck, but he's gone up a little bit. Not really one I'd bother with in this format. Greg Clark last on the interchange is not great. We really need him to hold, but I think everyone has him, and if he gets dropped or something, then it is what it is. But I think you'd think he holds. Now, the Western Bulldogs. So first of all, Cleary has been omitted. He is a emergency, so possibly sub. I guess this was on the cards with Jure. You know, I think they have Johannesson still to come in if they want to play him. So yeah, I guess it's a dead rook now. So yeah, so Thompson, Buku, and Cleary. Only one has survived in Buku Kamas. Excuse me. Maybe Cleary comes in later, but we know that his job screw is not good enough. I think maybe a few turnovers in the last quarter cost him his spot potentially, but yeah, it's very slim pickings at the moment for all defender rookies. It's literally where or nothing at the moment. So, and yeah, for weeks we've been getting nothing, and you know we got Thompson and Buku. They scored less than 40 between them, and Thompson's out for a while. So Buku is named on field, which is encouraging. With Tim English, they're playing him with Jordan Sweet. So are they trying to ease him in? So he's not one I'd go early on, but one to keep an eye on. I think he did average the 88 last year, playing mostly forward, did Tim English. So yeah, maybe he scores acceptable. But I wouldn't be jumping on Tim English this week. I just want to see, like, do they keep playing Sweet after this? My guess would be eventually Sweet gets dropped. But if he's played okay so far. Doesn't do enough around the ground, but his ruck contests have been okay. So keep an eye on what happens in that setup. With Bruce coming in, I think if they want to play Sweet, well, I think Karmas is pretty much gone. Because Waitman can, like, he's medium, but he can, you know, he marks overhead. He can kind of play tallish, if that makes sense. So, yeah, if you have Buku, I mean, it doesn't really matter. You have him, you chuck him on your bench. If you don't have him, you don't go for him. Pretty simple. So on the interchange, Combs still playing, so that's fine. And with Bailey Smith out, I think I'm a bit more inclined to captain a Dogs player. So maybe Jackson McRae. We'll speak about it tomorrow in the trades video. We'll look at Jackson McRae as a captain option. One Jack McRae. So Sunday games, Carlton versus Collingwood. Poulter, Reef, Rusco in. Extended benches, remember. In for Carlton, Jack Martin, Nunes, Boyd, and Paddy Dow. Out Kemp. Collingwood's side. Crisp named halfback. I think he probably plays midfield. DC named first ruck with Cox in the forward line. So I think they'll probably use both in the ruck. I think last week they were probably planning for more Mason Cox, but because how good Darcy was, especially against Darcy Cameron good against Sean Darcy, getting mixed up there, but you would think that he gets a decent chunk of ruck time. So he's not one. There's no way you would trade him in at this point, just because you have to trade him out again. And now Cox is in the team, so I'm not sure what the ruck split is. But if you have him, great. You get TPP cover next week if you can somehow facilitate that. So yeah, he's look. If you picked him in a few weeks ago, you're laughing. You got the 130 last week. You got big cash rise, and he's got the last buy, which people so desperately need. But yeah, he was outstanding last week. So a good job if you jumped on him. To go named in the forward line, just been a failed pick this year. So probably play mostly midfield, but just hasn't performed. Dacos named last on the interchange in a extended bench. You would think he still plays. Played well last week. So looking at Carlton's team, nothing defense. Cripps playing this dodgy, playing a little bit in the ruck, but still CBAs are really high. So I think this is the week. I don't think anyone can possibly move him on this week given the ruck carnage, but yeah, I mean, people are expecting him to bounce back. It's just the ruck time, and because of his history, people are slightly worried. Maybe he just had 2 bad games, so we'll see how he goes. Walsh named half forward, so playing that half forward into stoppage role, a little bit annoying, but still scoring well in it. And then Motlop should hold, I think. Jack Martin in for, or is he even in? I assume he's best 22. So looking at the bench here, I think Motlop looks pretty good. He kind of faded out the game just like the entire Carlton team in the second half, but he looked quite good when he got the chance. So he's one you could go on. I think given how he went, you think he keeps playing. It's just a little risky just because 1 or 2 bad games, he's probably out of the team. First buy, small forward. You're not going to use his money later. He's just going to be on the bench. So I did like his game, but probably not going to get much scoring out of him, unfortunately, because of the role and age. So, and also Carroll, one to look out for if you have him. I think Kennedy plays this cultural play. I think I don't have a great read on this. Maybe Boyd plays, and then like Carroll and Motlop, Martin. Maybe only 1 or 2 of them play. So keep an eye on that. All right, Port Adelaide versus Essendon. So I think Butters scored like 1 trillion points on them last year, so hopefully that's the same. Not Bulldogs. Port Adelaide, not really much here. Rosie, if you have him, I think he's not a top 6 or top 8 forward. Shown good signs, but CBA's dropped, and yeah, he's quite expensive now. So you can actually cash him out or wait 1 more week. Butters has been good the past few weeks. Hopefully he can keep it up. Definitely capable. Just will he do it or not? Who knows? Sam Hayes on the interchange. So there was a journalist, I forget his name, so I can't credit him, but was saying that Sam Hayes is a decent chance. Well, I think he expects him to be rested this game because of the wet weather, which is weird because that means more stoppages in the wet. We saw Darcy and Cameron do really well in the wet last week. Sorry, Sean Darcy and Darcy Cameron. So yeah, maybe he stays, maybe he holds. So that'd be great if he holds. I'm still trading Bruce even if he holds. But yeah, if you're in the Praise and Dixon setup, and Hayes isn't out, you're in deep trouble. So might just have to cop a donut on the chin. Excuse me. So yeah, we'll keep an eye on Sam Hayes. 5 PM Friday, I think, or 4:30 for me. I think 5 PM for Eastern States. So keep an eye on if Sam Hayes is named. But yeah, it sounds like this journalist is expecting him not to play. So that would be, the wrong week for that, especially with the bye coming up. You'd expect he comes straight back in after the bye. So I'll be holding. And Essendon side, did I even go over this? I can't remember. Phillips, Zerk Thatcher, Ham, Harrison Jones, Ridley Caldwell, out, Redmond, Guelphy, and Brian. So just playing the 1 ruck. So yeah, Essendon, who cares really? Nick Martin probably needs to go, and he's probably the one you cash out if you have him still, which I assume most people do. To get Bruce up to a Witts or a Darcy, or even I guess Sam Hayes if you want. I'm not too sure. So just depends on where you're at with money and stuff like that. So yeah, it's very much whatever. So keep an eye on, if you're looking at a budget option in Zach Merritt, you could keep an eye on his CBAs because they were quite low last week. I think in the 20s or 30s. I think this is the last game. So St Kilda versus North Melbourne in. Butler, Leanett, Owens in for North, Marnie, Archer, Stevenson. Is Archer named on field? No, it's probably not playing. So yeah, St Kilda, like Sinclair, people looking at him probably the week after his bye. Crouch has been good the past few weeks, no steal. I'm still going to be too hard to push the top 8 mids. Owens second on the interchange. Maybe he comes in. Who knows? I'm not too sure, but yeah, didn't looked a bit out of his depth, but had in round 1, but it has been good in the VFL. So that's pretty much it. And yeah, North Melbourne had a really rough week, but I think there's a bit of talent on the list to work with at least. So hopefully they can improve over the next few weeks. Perez named on the wing. Where's Paul Curtis? You'd think he keeps playing. Maybe he could get rested, but he's been quite good, so you think he keeps playing. And Horn Francis is playing, so that's good. So yeah, that's I think that's the team. So yeah, kind of a rough one. So I think Cleary and the ruck line, you know, who's the rookie you go on this week? I think it's probably Cooper Stevens if you have to go someone. I'm actually going Jacob Ware. I don't have much use for Cooper Stevens in the midfield. None of my mids are ready to be cut. I need to access money down back to get wits in, so it will be nice to hold SDK another week, but just kind of my situation at the moment. So yeah, we'll discuss our trades tomorrow with NO and JD, and we'll go over a few things again of like who we're trading in and out. So yeah, keep an eye on the late outs for Bruce, or late ins in case Bruce or Hayes come in, but other than that, yeah, good luck this week, and we'll see you guys soon.